Breaking news in Donald Trump's civil fraud case. The New York Attorney General has filed notice questioning essentially the financial strength of the company that posted his bond and whether it can cover the cost. I want to bring back MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin, who is frantically looking at her phone because this is literally just breaking. So this is the $175,000, right?
$175 million.
Yep. If only it was $175,000, Donald Trump is saying. $175 million. So there's a question about whether they're really covering it in a sufficient way. Is that it?
Let's go back for a second. So this morning, Knight Specialty Insurance Company filed a corrected version of the bond that attached, among other things, its financial statements and showed what its assets were as of the end of last year. That's December 31st, 2023. It has over $537 million in assets. And what the Attorney General's office is saying, the cash it has on hand is less than the bond. And they need to know, because specifically this company is not admitted under New York's Department of Financial Service. It's not a New York insurer. And because it doesn't have qualifications in New York State, they are entitled to ask for what's called justification of the surety. That means, among other things, Chris, that they want to know, how is this collateralized? What are the specific identifiable assets that Donald Trump posted to ensure that if they went on appeal, they will get back this $175 million and up to the value of the judgment that Judge Engoron had ordered, which at this point stands over $454 million if that judgment's upheld.
Wasn't that similar to the problem Donald Trump himself faced? Because he clearly has a lot of assets. The question of are they liquid assets? How quickly, for example, if he needed to, could he sell something? And would it be worth what would be needed to cover the bond?
He had other problems too, right?
Yeah.
A lot of those assets were encumbered and he couldn't pledge them because there was already somebody essentially in line. If you owe a $125 million mortgage, for example, to an existing lender, then you can't exactly give that over to the Attorney General first when you've got somebody in line with what's called a perfected security interest. So that is a similar problem. Trump had even greater problems on his own, which is why he went to Knight Specialty Insurance Company as his suretor here. But here you see the Attorney General's office saying what you filed this morning is still not enough to satisfy us that you have posted a bond that is sufficient to cover our judgment if and when we went on appeal.
So now what happens?
They have 10 days to file what's called a justification of the surety, and then there will be in addition to the motion practice, a hearing at which the suretor can come forward. And they have copied, for example, on this motion, Amit Shah, who's the president of Knight Specialty Insurance Company, signed the bond. He is copied here because he is basically the person on whom this is being served. You will show up. You will file these documents to explain to us how this is collateralized. This is bringing Don Henke and his company a whole lot more into this mess than I fear that they anticipated.
Okay, so then the question becomes, what if, we don't know what's going to happen,
right,
but what if the decision is, no, this isn't good?
So if it's not, if it's not good, then Trump will have to obtain a new undertaking to prevent Tish James from enforcing on the judgment while he appeals. Right now, he has a stay, but that stay is conditional on his having posted this $175 million bond. If this bond isn't sufficient, according to a court, then Trump will have to obtain another one in lieu of it.
Remind us what enforcing might mean.
Enforcing could mean seizing assets. It could mean, for example, seizing bank accounts. It could also mean taking steps to obtain the ownership of assets that are free and clear from other mortgages. In the perfect world, Tish James doesn't want to get into a war with other lenders to whom Donald Trump already owes money. She'd rather take possession of assets or properties that are free and clear of other demands. But she never wanted to get into that business in the first place, which is why the surety is a good option for the Attorney General's office as well. They are a law enforcement office. They are not a real estate agency. They are not interested in conducting a fire sale any more than Donald Trump wants to host one himself.
Well, this is a perfect example. Early in this whole process, when we knew there were 4 criminal cases, one of the things that folks like me was constantly asking folks like you is what impact it might have on the political calendar. And one of the things folks like you said was these cases can get complicated. There can be delays. There can be things like this that happen. And now it's another thing that's taking time and attention for Donald Trump and his legal team away from other things that he has to do, like run for president. Lisa, thank you for that late-breaking news.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.